Storm Team Meteorologist Jacob Woods. Jacob, how's it looking over there in the Weather Center?
Oh, it's going to be a toasty week, at least here for the first half of the week before we get to the cold front that's going to arrive on Thursday and Friday. That is going to increase the threat for storms. Also, the humidity just a little bit, but that abundance of clouds, more moisture will lower the temperatures ever so slightly. And of course, as we near the very end of August, we are watching the tropics. We've got Hurricane Aaron currently active and another system that could be forming just right behind it. Live look over downtown Birmingham here on this beautiful Sunday night from our BJCC camera. Still awfully warm, sitting at 78 degrees. That dew point around 73, so it is very muggy out there. You do not need me to tell you that, and that's not going to be changing at all over the next 7 days or so. Temperatures in the lower 70s here for some places in eastern Alabama. 73, the cooler spot here in Talladega. 75 in Lineville. 78 in Alabaster, and 75 for our friends up in Coleman. Still in the 80s over there for some folks in far western Alabama. All of us are going to fall to the lower 70s tonight. Clear skies, very muggy conditions to start out your day tomorrow, and a lot of sunshine, so that means temperatures warm fast. Already up to the mid-80s here by 10 a.m. By noon, we're in the lower 90s, and we'll keep the threat for rain very small until we get into the late afternoon and peaking around a 30% chance for a few hit-and-miss storms, but it's not going to be for all of us. We'll talk about exactly where here in just a moment. The bigger story tomorrow is going to be the temperatures getting back up into the middle 90s. So clear skies overnight, no weather to worry about as you're all hitting the roads and heading to school and work on your Monday morning, and mostly sunny skies all the way through the noon hour, and mostly dry through that point as well. And then we'll start watching for a couple of spotty downpours. Most of the energy tomorrow will be confined to our southeasternmost counties. So areas along and southeast of the I-20 corridor stand the greatest threat to see some rain tomorrow afternoon. But even then, it's going to be pretty widely scattered hit and miss. And so not saying it's a washout for places like Rockford, Clanton, Alabaster, but you guys stand a better chance than places like Fayette over towards Jasper and Coleman getting in on some rain tomorrow. I guess consider yourself lucky. It would help cool things off a little bit, but as we know, the humidity really ticks up as soon as you get one of those afternoon downpours in these very hot and steamy conditions. High temperatures tomorrow up to around 96 in Birmingham, 93 Lineville, 97 here from Brent over to Tuscaloosa, including you over there in Carrollton as well. So the worst of the heat will be along and west of Interstate 65. We do have the heat advisory that goes into effect for those areas tomorrow all the way into Tuesday, and high temperatures are going to be back up into the mid-90s again going into Tuesday as well. You factor in the humidity, it will feel like 104 tomorrow in Talladega, 105 for Gadsden, 102 for Birmingham, 107 for Brent. So you get the idea. Typically, as it is, the worst of the heat and humidity will be confined to our folks in the western half of the state. We're not done with it after tomorrow. Once we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, highs still staying up there in the mid-90s. The humidity is going to still stay high, if not get even a little bit worse, even more oppressive. And so combining those two is how we get the heat index number. Even if the temperature falls some, humidity stays higher, we're going to be still feeling as hot as 105 degrees or so for many of us. So I would not be surprised if the heat advisory is extended a little bit more, at least going into Wednesday. The worst of the heat will slide off to our west underneath the dome of high pressure to the four corners. But meanwhile, we are going to have a little cold front that tries to stall out here. That will increase the rain chances, especially going into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with Friday looking to be the stormier day at the moment. And we're also watching Hurricane Aaron, barely a Category 4 storm right now, passing just to the north of the Dominican Republic, and is expected to stay over open water and likely become a forgotten storm, as it's not going to impact any land here, and it will eventually start to weaken as we see the shear and a little bit more of the cooler waters start to impact that system there. So it looks like Tuesday will be one of our drier days this week. Still watching for the storms as we go into the second half of the week, and then drying back out in that extended 10-day forecast. Sydney?